I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, da-doo-ba-da-doom, just like the grind I used to know. Welcome to the Daily
That,
Grind. Christmas carols, baby. Christmas.
that was
I'm
pretty
your host.
good.
Thank you. I practiced. I practiced all weekend. I was like, let's pick a song that's in our range, that's not going to scream and hurt anybody. I'm your host, Luke Hatmaker. I got Uncle Buck and Parrish with me. It's Monday. It's coming off a great weekend of Grizzlies action. How we doing, boys?
Doing good.
Lovely.
Doing great. Tennessee made
I
cross
love.
the playoffs. Doing
Dude,
good.
yes, man. You
I'm
take
doing
out
good over here.
sorry, Uncle Buck. You take the Titans out, and it was a pretty good weekend to be a Tennessee sports fan. Uncle Buck, we lost him. But anyway, let's just jump right into it. It was
Oh,
if
yeah.
you were a Grizzlies fan, we'll leave it at that. If you were a Grizzlies fan, it was a hell of a weekend because they started the weekend off beating the Boston Celtics 127 to 121 in their home on their home court. And it was one of it might be the most complete game I remember seeing in this era of Grizzlies basketball. It was incredible to watch. It was just starting to see all the pieces, kind of like guys like us have been talking about what we saw in this game for a long time, and to
Yeah.
see it finally click was just wonderful. Parrish, what were your thoughts? Your immediate thoughts?
Man. That's what LeBron said at the time. About damn time.
Yes.
It's about damn time. God dog it. Man. The Grizzlies hadn't won in Boston since 2013. 2013. That's spanning the grit and grind era. Like
Yeah, it does.
that's a long time. And then I think Jason Tatum was 13-0 versus the Grizzlies. Finally beat him. Which I never saw the Titans beat Andrew Luck. So I'm gonna take this in.
Oh
Uh,
man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's kind
take
of
this.
it's kind
I'm
of a
gonna take this
Lucas
in.
streak too.
Yep. What else? What other streak do we break? We only beat Boston once since Ja Morant into the league. That was in
Yeah.
2021. And that was the game Jason Tatum missed.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot of things. What I took from it, the victory. Desmond Bain struck through out, but he scored 9 points in like the last 4 minutes of the game when it mattered the most, right? The current finally saw Bain make more clutch plays down the stretch because that was what I was waiting for. Outside of Ja Morant, who else between Bain or Jaren can down the stretch of a game making clutch play? I've seen Jaren do it a little bit. That Milwaukee game last year comes to mind. I was waiting for Bain to do it. He had the clutch shot against Sacramento, I believe,
Yep.
Thursday. Then he had 9 points in that game. So that's what we needed from Bain. Jaren, and this is why I know a lot of people after the Dallas game, some people still want to take because I didn't think that was Terry Jenkins' fault at all. But a lot of people was like, "Hey, Terry Jenkins rotations, or Ja didn't want to play 30 minutes." I was like, in my opinion, Ja and Jaren was out the game, but he had Desmond Bain in the game, and they won 7 straight possessions without scoring. Desmond Bain is the highest paid player on the team. I'm not about to. You can't go 7 straight possessions without scoring with your highest paid player leading the team, right? That's on them. But when they came back in the game, they were still about like 9, and they just kept fouling every possession, right?
Yeah.
So nothing really could do from that. The Boston game, he took Ja out, and everybody was scared. Oh man, we need to spot Ja minutes. Jaren Jackson was in. What he do? He did what I thought Bain should did against Dallas.
Yep.
He scored 11 straight points.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the point. If you have a big three that we got a big three, the other two need to. I can't word when Ja's out the court.
Math.
Jaren did that against Boston. Bain came through at the end. That's what they didn't do against Dallas. Thankful for the big three. And man, just that win. If we had to lose that Dallas game to win that game, perfectly fine. Because I was thinking if we had beat Dallas, we would have been on an 8-game winning streak and going to the game.
We'd have lost.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Will we still won? I don't know.
Yep.
I guess like Kanye said, I guess we'll never know. We beat Boston. Let's get
Yeah, we don't got to think about what might have happened because we know what did happen.
Right.
How about you, Uncle Buck?
Man, it was just nice, kind of. I've been the one preaching like I want close games, and so we're coming down a 3-game stretch here where we had close games. Dallas was a close game that didn't go our way. I got on our show and I was very anti blaming Taylor Jenkins for that Dallas game because we got outshot at the free throw line 26-3, and it's impossible to get any rhythm. But that was a close game that went the wrong way. And then the Sacramento game was another close game which you felt like you played very poorly. Jaren and Ja were terrible.
Yeah.
and you pull it out. Your bench unit resurrects you in that game after Ja gets ejected. And then against Boston, you go and you're leading the whole game. I mean, it's nip tuck, it's going between 4 and 11, back and forth. But every time they cut it to 4, you put it back to 11. And then in the fourth quarter, when Boston finally breaks through and gets their first lead, and Peyton Pritchard's going crazy, and it just seems like they get on this run, and the home crowd gets on top of you, and they finally get the lead. They battled back and took it to double digits again, and that was a big boy win. And a win where you faced adversity and your superstars took you over the edge. Ja Morant was absolutely phenomenal after a game where he was just not good. He was detrimental to the team. I'll say it, against Sacramento. But we do not win that game if Ja Morant plays to the end. We just don't. He's out of it. He was way too in his feelings. But then he came and just dominated the game. I think it was 31 points
31,
in 34 minutes. 9 and 9.
They took away a
rebound.
Oh yeah.
Something.
But it was just a big boy, high character win, and I think you've got to give praise all around. Taylor Jenkins, he did play Ja 34 minutes. He played Jaren, I think 33. Bane played 34. It was in the 30s, 31. So, I mean, just a big boy win. And because of the way the schedule and missing the play-in tournament, you go and play the next day against Washington, and you give Ja and Bane the day off, and then you got a week. I mean, John's got 7 days to rest this now.
Yes, which that's kind of you transitioning for me. When they won Saturday, what day is it? When they won Saturday, I was like unexpected. All the records that Parrish laid out at the beginning of the show, I just assumed. It sucks that when you're conditioned in certain opponents where it's like, well, we're gonna lose this one.
So I was thinking Sacramento was a must-win game for that reason. I was like, so we lose Sacramento, we gonna be losing. We on a 3-game losing streak.
That Sacramento game was way more stressful than it needed to be because we knew that Boston game was on the schedule, and you were like, crap. Why is this Sacramento game on a Thursday night so important? But it was, and I was it's easy to come off second night of a back-to-back after beating the former championship. They're the championship winning Boston Celtics. You don't have to come out with your foot on the gas, especially when Ja and Dez aren't playing. But they came out and beat the Wizards 140-112. Which
listen,
we don't have to.
Their business. They did what the Memphis Tigers didn't do. I'm gonna say they took care of this opponent.
If I am Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, any stud in high school or college, I am telling, if they get the first, I am going to Europe. I'm going back to college. There is no way I'm stepping foot and putting on a Washington Wizards jersey. That is the most unserious basketball team I've ever seen. Like, Jordan Poole being your highest paid player is just a recipe for absolute disaster. He is the worst excuse of a professional. Like, money aside, he does not conduct himself as a professional. Like, dude just sucks.
How did they beat Denver when Jokic had 56 and 16 in the game, and they somehow won?
And see, stuff like that makes me feel like I'm losing my mind because we watch games like this, and it's like, what?
And that Champagny dude, I wanted to drive to Washington. He was just straight dirty. Like he cut Jaren off, went knee to knee with Jaren, just being a little turd. And then like the next play, he pushes off on an inbound play off of Scottie Pippen Jr.'s face. Just like, Rob, and I was like, bro, you got to go home. Somebody's going to have to take you to the locker room.
I don't know how. I'll tell you what, I would have been heartbroken if we lost that game. Coming off that win against Boston, if we would have lost that game, that would have been rough. But the fact that we came in, had 70 points at the half, and then beat them by almost 40, nice.
Yeah. I mean, they let them come back into the game. They kind of got hot. NBA teams are capable of getting hot. And then Taylor Jenkins called that timeout. And They cut it to like 10, then immediately went back to like 20.
20-0 run.
Yep, 20-0 run.
Like over at that point. You got John Conchar minutes in the third quarter. And God
We want Yuki
help
chance.
the Washington Wizards. This is twice that a road team is changing for Yuki. I'll tell you right, if the Grizzlies are so bad, I'm cheering for a two-way guy on the other team to enter the game. I'm not freaking going to the game. Like, I'm done. This is not good for my health. I'm out.
Washington Portland should sell their franchises. The owners, that's it.
Man, it's
we want Yuki chance in both places. They just need to just they need to do like Drake. They just need to go out somewhere for a while, go south.
Rehabilitate, man. And we might be underselling it. We're saying we want Yuki chance. That crowd was losing their minds. They were losing their minds. I was like, what are we doing? There's not much to hope for if you're a Wizards fan. If you're a Grizzlies fan, go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to Yuki. He gave the media members some of his Japanese jelly beans last week. They were fine. Like,
hell yeah!
Shout out to Yuki, man. He good in my book.
Hell yeah!
And I do think that started. There was a big Grizzlies contingent right behind the visiting bench, and so I was like, maybe I'm being a little too hard. Maybe they started it, but the Washington fans definitely caught on, and I was like, nah, I'm out.
I'm out. So like Uncle Buck, you alluded to it earlier before we let you go, Parrish. So the Grizzlies are now, they don't play till Friday. Yeah. They are currently sitting at number 2 in the West, which like to see it. They're they're a game behind. They're a game behind.
They're half game up on Dallas, right?
Yeah.
And
the Rock.
OKC and Dallas play tomorrow.
Yep. And is that a cup game?
Yep.
So
cup games are Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's why we're not playing. I guess that's the reason for the break. If you would have told me that the Grizzlies were heading into the NBA Cup at that point in the season, number 2 in the West, and not having to compete, not have to worry about these extra mileage, I'd be like, yes,
that's good.
That's really good.
We've talked about Bane and how he struggled. It's clear that he's just not right physically, and this is exactly what he needs. Like he needs 6 days off. He needs. There was no way he was going to play that back to back, and then he's getting a full 7 days off now.
Yep. It's exact. I mean, you don't want to say exactly where you want to be is undefeated and in first, but all things considered, it's fine. All things considered, I'm very happy with where we're sitting. A quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah, we beat teams by 40 with 6 rotational type players out. We do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we got guys not even playing. Luke Kennard's not even sick. We got guys not playing, and we're 2. Sick. We'll talk about that later this week.
Another untold. I ain't gonna say it's not no secret or nothing, but they got rest this week. They have a game Friday and Sunday, and they have another rest next week. They don't play again until Thursday after Sunday because the Cup championship game is Tuesday.
Oh, get right. Yeah, they just need to get right.
Because the Cup semifinals is Saturday, then the championship is Tuesday. So then they get another 3 days off until they have to play.
So you're telling me they could rest Bane against Brooklyn and LA next week, and he'd get 2 full weeks off?
Look, many also got.
I'm in favor of it if he comes back healthy. Whatever you got to do, man.
Yeah,
we're missing him, and he's been good in bursts. He was great to finish the Boston game off, but he needs to get right.
Yeah, need to get better. All right, Pierce, we'll let you get out of here, brother. Thank you. We'll see you Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Thursday. Yep. Thank you, bro. You have a good day. Got no games
between now. So we see what we're talking about.
Hell yeah. All right, brother. You take care. Be good, okay?
All right, Chad.
All right, Uncle Buck. So I'm excited for this because now we get to talk college football because are you okay? What are your thoughts on are your thoughts on the college football playoff bracket? Because I was pretty excited to see what was going to happen. Just to see who got left out more so than anything else.
Well, listen, the committee did it right. They got it right at the end. Okay. Yes. because really the only thing that was up for debate based on kind of the criteria that they set forward is the only thing that was up for debate was were you going to, ram Alabama down our throats again, or were you going to do the right thing and drop them out? And they did the right thing. SMU in a 3-point loss in the ACC championship game to Clemson was deserving of that spot. And there's just no way around. And I know the committee hated to see that happen. They were the biggest SMU fans because they want Alabama in there. They're the biggest brand in football. And so they did the right thing by getting them in there. Now, I think what we found is that it's flawed a pretty good bit. I think that going forward, you guarantee the conference champions a bid. Like, that's obvious. You do that. But you don't give them a bye. They're not necessarily deserving of a bye. There's no way in any world that Boise State, as a group of 5 conference champion, deserves a first round bye over the SEC runner-up or the ACC runner-up. Or, there's just, it's cute, but it's like, it's just not going to, they're not deserving of that. They're not one of the 4 best teams. Arizona State finished hot, but are we going to sit back and say that Arizona State deserves a bye over, Georgia or over Ohio State or Penn State? Like, there's just, I don't like it. I don't like the byes going to conference champions. I think you just rank your teams 1 through 12,
and you just give them.
You seed them correctly, and if the group of 5 champion is below 12, then you just put them at 12 and bump number 12 back.
Yes, I agree, because I felt like all the teams were right. Especially with Alabama not making it. I was like, I like these. I think they decided correctly on the teams, but it's like you said, the seeding for me this time, it's like, man, you still got to figure something out, because you got Boise State and Arizona State as a 3 and a 4 seed with a bye. And it's just like, are they better than Ohio State? Are they better than Georgia? Are they better than Texas? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so and I know SEC fans are mad because they're saying that, only 3 teams in the SEC. There's no way only 3 teams in the SEC are in the top 12. And I tend to agree with that. I think Alabama is better than SMU. I think if you line up Alabama and SMU, Indiana, God help them. They're going to lose by 40 to, I forget who they play in round 1. Notre Dame. Yeah. I don't cheer for Notre Dame either, but Notre Dame just going to muscle them into the ground. They just don't deserve it. Strength of schedule, it turns out, didn't matter. And that's another negative going into how you schedule these, the university schedule their teams going forward. Is strength of schedule does not matter like they said it did. Indiana played 1 good team and they lost. And they played 11 bad teams and they won. And it's just not, it's not apples to apples with the SEC, where you play an 8-game SEC slate, an SEC where you finished the season with like 6 teams, 5 teams at 5-3 and 6-2 to end the season. You had no SEC team outside of Texas have 1 loss. We just beat each other up.
Yeah.
And so strength of schedule did not matter. And so if they don't start factoring that in, you're going to have a lot of pointless regular season games against cupcakes. Yeah. And then you're just going to hope that your only losses come to SEC teams, and then you just go forward with it. And you just hopefully have the better win-loss record at the end.
Yeah. So out of these first round, out of all the first round games, what's your favorite? You're gonna lock. I love DG's mad at you for this Indiana.
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, Daniel doesn't love Indiana. He loves that Kurt Cignetti is a covering machine.
He loves making money.
Yeah, he loves making money, and I'm with you on that. And maybe the love of making money over 12 weeks resulted in a slice of fandom, but it's not. No. I'll be honest with you. I'll have to look it up real quick.
I got
the matchups.
Yeah. Right. So it's Clemson versus Texas, Winner of that plays Arizona State.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Ohio State. Winner plays
Yeah.
Oregon. SMU, Penn State. Winner plays Boise State. Indiana, Notre
Ugh.
Dame. Winner plays Georgia. I think that
See, that's
Tennessee,
my thing.
Ohio State game is going to be
That-
awesome.
Yeah, that game's good. That's probably the best one.
Yeah,
But the
rest of them
winner
don't.
plays who? Arizona State?
No. So the winner of that's the only one that Tennessee, Ohio State winner plays Oregon.
Tennessee. Okay, that's the best bracket.
That's the only bracket that I like because it's Texas, Clemson winner plays Arizona State.
All right, so Penn State plays
SMU.
SMU, and the winner plays Boise.
State.
That is just that's so stupid because Penn State, I believe, is the fakest team on that whole 12 team. I do not buy Penn State. They've lost 2 games all year, and they didn't score on offense in either game. I don't want any part of that. And the fact that they get to play get to play SMU
in Boise State,
and then play Boise.
One of those 3 teams is going to be in the Final Four, and that seems silly.
Yeah, no, it's disingenuous, and it's giving. I get the Boise State thing, but they should not get a bye. It's like, what if in college basketball, the Mountain West Conference champion was guaranteed a top 4 seed in the March Madness bracket? Like, that's dumb.
It's very dumb. I mean, it's super dumb because look at the product here.
Listen, this is a meritocracy. This is what it should be. And I'm sorry, Boise State, like, it's just not merited.
No,
it is not.
Because you're going to have teams like you're looking at a Final Four that could be Texas, Oregon, or Ohio State, Georgia, and then you're going to have Boise State or Penn State or SMU, and one of those things is not like the other. You've got these.
I hope it's SMU.
Really? Oh man, can you imagine if SMU is an 11 seed gets in that top four?
SMU is a good story. Of these that like SMU deserve to get in. I mean, there are 1 loss of regular season, lost a 3-point game in the conference championship game. I believe SMU deserved to get in. SMU in the first year of a new conference in the ACC, they are not to get into the ACC. They signed a contract that said we will not share a dime of TV revenue for X amount of years. Like, they are losing money.
Yeah, they are.
And just to get into this conference, and so they're like, just whatever you've got to do, just let me in. They went in and they dominated. It's a great story.
I'm with you. I want to see us. The problem is it's a great story, but if SMU makes that Final Four, they're going to probably play Georgia, and then it's like.
But I don't know how much better Georgia is. Like,
oh really?
I'm still in that thing. Like, I don't know what Carson Beck did, but we've seen Carson Beck twice this year, just like be awful.
Yes, like and awful, not bad, awful.
I think Oregon is the team to beat. I mean, that's obvious. We're talking about the number 1 overall seed, but they are the team to beat. They're the most well-rounded. They're the only ones that's frankly done it all year long without, in a season where there's been upsets, not being upset and just going chalk is the most impressive thing that you can do.
Yep. And if Oregon ends up winning,
if
they end up winning, it's going to be even more impressive because, like we said, they're going to have to beat Ohio State or Tennessee, and then they're most likely going to have to beat Georgia in the final. Like, it's going to be earned most likely.
And DG has a good point here. Carson Beck he left that SEC championship game with a right shoulder issue, and so he did not return back to the game until overtime when the backup quarterback got his helmet knocked off and had to leave for a play. So Carson Beck took a snap and handed it off, and they scored, and it's almost like he closed the game for him. But yeah, he was not even holding his arm up when he took the snap, handed it with his left hand, just so they could get the playoff and have a quarterback in the game.
Man, I'm excited. It's just exciting. I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm excited for the first event, expanded field. Whether or not they got the seeding right, whether or not they got it right, that's neither here nor there.
I don't like those matchups. None of those matchups.
None of them are good.
Tennessee, Ohio State's good. Notre Dame, Indiana, Penn State, SMU. Like, none of the matchups are good.
Nope. I mean, like, what's the Clemson, Texas?
Clemson, Texas is interesting. I do
Interesting.
like that.
but not good.
Not good, but interesting. That's number 2.
The other two just are. Yeah, the other two are just not good. Notre Dame, Indiana, SMU, Penn State. Those are just not exciting.
No, you're right. And I don't know, with that field, if you drop, I think those boring teams should have to play in the first round. Boise should have to play in the first round. Arizona State is so fun. Listen, I watched them. I watched pretty much that whole Arizona State, Iowa State Big 12 championship game. And I know Rusty didn't, because it's like massive, like, war flashbacks for him. Because Arizona State played Mississippi State like week 2 this year at 9:30 at night. Dude, the Scatterboo, the white running back that they've got, is a bowling ball of butcher knives. Dude just trucks people and never slows down. Yeah, Cam Scatterboo is amazing. If you haven't seen any clips of him, the dude is like Peyton Hillis at Arkansas.
Remember Peyton Hillis?
Like, every time he carries the ball, it's like a 12-round title fight. I love him.
Man, if they continue, it's going to be on the back of that guy, that kid.
Dude, I love him.
I love
their coach, Kenny Dillingham, I believe, was an assistant at Memphis. He is just like an electric factory. He's a young coach. It just feels like he just snorted pre-workout before the game. And he's just twitchy at all times, ready to fight.
Love it, man. So that's the most fun story, right? The Arizona State, that's probably that and SMU were the fun stories.
Yes.
Whether or not the matchups are going to be good, we'll have fun. Other than wishing Ole Miss was here, do you have any other thoughts?
No, not really. I've kind of laid out what I would change. I love the 12 team. I think the 12 team is going to be extremely entertaining. And who's not a fan of more football? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
And so, Ole Miss, just to put a bow on their season, like, they're out of it because of their own doings. And it is what it is. You lose a home game to Kentucky, and then you overcome it by, beating Georgia. Your 2 previous losses were made moot because you beat Georgia, but then you followed up a win against Georgia at home to a loss to a scrappy but not very good Florida team on the road. And that is what it is. You just kind of have to eat the dinner that you made for yourself. And it is what it is. And they are going to play in the Gator Bowl, which I guess is a fine bowl. It's not Music City or Liberty or Compass Bowl, but they're not playing in the Mayo Bowl. Listen, I've said before, if Ole Miss ever plays in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, I ain't watching. Like, I'm not going to do it. But they're playing Duke in the Gator Bowl, and let me tell you, you are going to get the most boring Ole Miss. I mean, they are not going to care, and I don't know that I blame them. Your expectations were here. You're having to settle for here. Your whole team is going pro. Nobody's going to play. I mean, this is going to be like a spring game, and Duke's probably going to beat us by 50. And I could not care less.
I'm sorry.
Most uninspiring. No, but I mean, it's kind of what you traded this off. When you go to a 12-team playoff game, nobody's going to be excited to go to the Gator Bowl or to the Citrus Bowl or, to all these other bowls because you've expanded the playoff now.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And so it just, you're settling, and, bowls are valuable. There's signs that you had a successful-ish season, but ultimately you wanted more.
You wanted more. So. Yep. Hey, there's always next year. That feels such defeatist. I'm sorry. Hey, you're going to beat Duke by 100. Manifesting it. It's going to be the highest scoring game Ole Miss has ever had.
Listen, the Ole Miss basketball team is looking really good right now, so I'd rather lose to football Duke, and let's find a way to play basketball Duke and beat them by. I want to manifest beating them by 100.
Let's manifest that. Oh, Blue Devils are going down in basketball. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we are going to talk about Mondays and talk about lasagna. We're just going to take a quick break. And before everyone jumps on me, I'm playing the old commercial. Everybody calm down. I'll be back after this break.
I think Zach Edey played well. He got his fouls in. He got him in for sure. But we saw some flashes of really what he can do. Whether that's setting screens or just blocking shots or just making guys change their mind about shots, or just affecting the quality of shots that guys were getting in the game. We saw that a lot. They gotta use him though, man. They gotta be able to find him a little better.
I was about to say they especially the whole first quarter. It was like, because I think that lob that y'all had him, that was his first points of the game. So it was like the whole first quarter, I did peep that. It was like, I see everybody else attempting 5+ shots.
Right.
Y'all got to find a way to give Zach Edey something like at some point. Everything was running well last night, right? The offense was flowing well. It's gonna come a stretch of time where they're gonna be stagnant, and at that time, that's when I expect them. Okay, hey, let's run the post play to Zach Edey.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
This is a question I don't know if you've ever been asked. Was there anyone you ever wanted to dunk on? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you haven't getting a big kick out of that one. I'm glad you've been waiting all day for that. Waiting all day to get that little jokey joke in. Oh, you got a joke. But yeah, I always wanted to dunk in the game. That's what I wanted to do. And it didn't have to be on anybody. I wanted it to be off of a missed shot, like on an offensive rebound, so that everyone's around or in the vicinity when it happened.
Did you ever dunk in practice and get overly excited?
Yes. and everybody be like, well, are you going to do it in a game? And I'm like, no.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. You can catch that show. All of these shows. We got a whole bunch of shows. We've got the Night Court Podcast every Wednesday at 2 or 3. It's a Tuesday afternoon. I'll figure it out one of these days. No Bluffin' Podcast is on Mondays or Sundays. We got the Anthony Sane Show that's live. Or not live. It's broadcast every Wednesday and Friday at noon. We've got the 2 Bucks Sports Show live every Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon. We go every Monday through Friday, 7:30. Check it all out. You can get all this at bluffcitymedia.co, spelled like it is at the bottom. Leave that M off. Hey, you wanted a banner, you got a URL. Baby steps. But back to our show. On this show on Mondays, we celebrate Garfield the cat because he hates Mondays and he loves lasagnas. I think it's important to acknowledge the good and the bad in life because you can't enjoy one without the other. I can go first. Over the weekend, well, I always forget my Monday. My Monday's not too big. Finn, the kid, he had a stomach bug on Friday, and so I kind of got it. I was just a little under the weather on Friday, just kind of pukey. Not that big of a deal because my lasagna. We did our little little family. It's like kind of a Friendsgiving. It's like me and Kyla and her sisters and her fiance. We kind of get together with kids, and we do a white elephant where you get to steal the gift. And it's, it's like a $10 limit. You buy something silly. I was trying to grab what I won because it was awesome, but I don't know where it is. It's a dino blaster. It's like a dino gun that you pump and it goes, and it shoots. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, I need to have that.
Does it shoot dinosaurs?
No, it's a dinosaur mouth and it shoots balls.
Oh, nice.
And they hurt. They hurt. And I've just been hitting everybody with it because I'm a child.
Of course. Hey, listen. Anytime that, just know that if you're going to buy my son or anybody in my family a Nerf gun, my son's going to get it from me. I'm just going to own him. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. And I was like, guys, you did this. And we also built we built gingerbread houses. And then I went upstairs and I came down. Well, my dog was just like, he was like, this is good, Dad. And I was like, you ate that whole thing. But it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. All right. So I've got some Mondays, and they're not just like great. Like, I mean, they're not massive or anything, but like for starters, I've been to 3 Christmas parades over the last week, and I'm sick of them. Oh yeah. And then like my kids are just like sugar overload. Like,
and they're throwing candy out.
God help her. It's like, why don't you behave? And then she goes and digs through a bag of candy as if she's an animal that hadn't been fed. And then like Friday night, Chloe turned 10. My daughter turned 10 last Monday, a week ago. Well, Friday night, all of her friends came over from school. And I had 9 10-year-olds in my house Friday night. So that was an adventure.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But the weekend, like my lasagna is like we had a chill weekend. Like,
Dude,
I like being home on Saturdays. Now I had like 10-year-olds at the house. But like Saturday morning, we got up and I made pancakes and bacon and like just hung out around the house all day. Like, I need relaxing. The weekend after Thanksgiving, where all we do is drive. Like, we didn't really do much on Saturday, and that is, I guess it shows my age a little bit, but like that is the idea of fun.
Yes, man, I'm right there with you. I was thinking all weekend. I was like, I'm not doing much, but you know what? That weekend after Thanksgiving, where you're spending all this time and your butt hurts from being in a chair, a gym, in your car. It's just nice to be sitting and not be driving. Yeah. What was the worst part about the Christmas parade?
Don't take this the wrong way, but it's a 9-month-old. That's the worst part of the Christmas parade.
Just crying the whole time and cold.
Good grief. What do you expect the kid to do? Like, sit there in a stroller for an hour and a half in 30-degree weather? Like, no, he's just going to be miserable. Like, he also doesn't like socks, so he's constantly trying to take those off. And if you take those off, like, we're going to have a hard time counting to 20,
Wait, your son doesn't like socks?
No. No. So he kicks his socks off and like he's gonna lose a toe and he's not gonna be able to count. Like, listen. Somehow my wife looked at me and she was like, I told her she needed to be studied. I said Saturday morning, somebody was like, "Oh, the Corinth Christmas parade is Saturday. Y'all should go." And I just looked at her and started doing this. And she looked at me. She looked at me in the most sincerity possible. She said, "You don't have to go." And I was like, "Okay." And somehow I was there. Like, when we leave the house, I looked at her and I was like, "How did this happen?
How did you blacked out and then you came to and you were there?"
We started this conversation with you graciously telling me I didn't have to come, but somehow
I'm cold.
Like I felt obligated to come. How did that happen?
Yeah, for real. She got a superpower? We need to study her because that's crazy. You're like, and yet I am outside at this parade. Love it.
With the third Christmas parade, we subjected a less than 1-year-old to.
How many more you got? Are you done? Or you got more?
Kids or Christmas parades?
Both. Are you?
I hope 0 both ways.
Heard. No more kids. No more Christmas parades. At least for the rest of the year. Right? Does that sound right?
That's right. Well, yeah. Let's hope so.
That's going to do it for our show today. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good week, everybody. Have a happy Monday. Don't have any Christmas parades this week. Give Uncle Buck a break. Give everybody a break.
Please.
Please, come on. We'll be back tomorrow. We won't have any Grizzlies games, so we'll find stuff to talk about. If I can leave you with anything today, anything on this Monday day, remember these 2 things. Remember to be a little weird, just a little bit, and remember to smile. Bye, guys. Not like that. Bye, guys. Have a good day.